Hello, peeps. Yes, I'm back. Happens now and again, you know? Anyway, I thought I would give this a try because I ache from head to toe, and probably so does my husband, because we completely reset the office and my desks, and yeah, spring cleaning hit hard. It really did. It went for broke. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the same thing that we always do. I've got the Profusion Dancing Queen, and we'll see where we end up. A little bit of sticky stuff here and there. Yes, I've already put the anti-sweat stuff on. Just because, let's be real, you don't need to see me stick every little clear piece of whatever. It's not a lot of fun. There's nothing really to see. I'm going to hopefully, I have taken all sorts of precautions to hopefully not have to do major numbers of jump cuts and whatever, just because you don't like it, I don't like it. It's no fun. I'm going to use one of my cream sticks here. This is from AOA Studio. It cost me $1. No, this one was $1.25. $1.88. I don't care. I like it. The color's good. So, smear some here. Smear some there. A little over here. A little there. And while I'm sitting here waiting for it to warm up just a bit, I'm going to say unto you, so how many of you have been hit with the spring cleaning fever bug? I get hit, not every spring, but some springs, it's like getting run over by a bulldozer. The first spring in this house, it was kind of slack. This is our second spring in this house, and it apparently decided it needed to get uppity. So we have gotten the carpet shampooer out, changed out the flower arrangements. Yes, I know there's silk flowers, but hey, I don't have my flower gardens in yet. A little more right there. Yes, this is some of my very, very inexpensive makeup, but it works. I like it. It works. Alrighty. AOA Studios, and otherwise known as Shop Miss A, they have bunches of stuff that's $1. Some of the stuff is up to $1.88. Some of them, like if you get 2 brushes, because they have some of the brushes in sets, same shape, different size, those are usually $2, but the stuff is good. I like the way it wears. I like the way it covers. And I can afford it with the current situation of not knowing for sure if my paycheck is coming. I'm just going to put it out there, not knowing that my paycheck is coming or not. I mean, what else am I supposed to do if I want to keep doing stuff like putting on makeup if I can't afford the other stuff that I used to use all the time? And if I can't afford it, I mean, what else do I do? I have to figure it out one way or another. And the one way or another gets to be a little annoying sometimes. Because I don't always like the another. The another is very often not at all. I can't afford, even with the sales. Even with the sales, this is not always a happening kind of thing. And I'm actually kind of glad today that I'm on the western side of Maryland, because let's be real, I don't like traffic. And if I had to do something in DC today, I would not be going. They currently have over 100,000 people in DC doing what they consider their civic duty. And I don't want to be in their way because I can't walk well enough to join them. And I get too tired too quick to go join. So, I hate driving in traffic. When I was still just living here all the time in the DC metro area and was working constantly in the area, I hated like heck to be having to drive through the traffic. To me. Because the traffic was horrendous. You get that many people all trying to go in the same direction at the same time. And it just was not pleasant at all. And then when we started moving to other places, yeah, they had rush hour, sort of. But in a few of the places that we have lived since leaving the Northern Virginia area, because it got too expensive, among other things, rush hour in a few of these places was 5 or 6 cars. It was great. Doo-doo-doo-doo. this. Kind of work that out a little more. It was being kind of just stuck up in the corner there and not wanting to spread. Now, a lot of the stuff we did with moving was because of my husband having a stroke. We couldn't afford the house that we were in anymore. And at one point, because they cut his hours down to part-time, and even though he was allowed to work from home, he wasn't able to really keep up because of the injury to his brain from the stroke. And because he was cut down to part-time, they thought they would get away with not having to deal with his disability pay. They got disabused of that real quick. So we're living with no insurance, $600 a month in medications, and yeah, we had moved from a larger house to a smaller house first because my sister had passed, and I ended up with me mom, and she needed to be in a nursing home. I couldn't handle her at home with her multitudinous issues. Plus, I still needed to be working. Somebody needed to be working. I had trouble locating a place of employment that would do us much good when it comes to, picking up somebody with a pre-existing condition and helping with the med bills. Yes, I'm just kind of babbling on because trying out the new setup, if it comes out lousy, I don't have to show anybody. So we moved to a smaller house because of the illness situation and the lack of funds that were quote unquote sufficient. We lost that house. Had to move to an even smaller place. And that's a place I don't want to remember. Not much at all. Okay. Let's see. Wet and Wild or Elif? Elif. Kronk. So we moved to an itty bitty place this is the first time I've ever lived out of Virginia. I moved to West Virginia because that was where we went. That was where we could find to afford. I may need to powder that down a little bit. The color's it's a little more pigmented than I expected. Oh well. Let's see if this one works out. Without being quite so intense. Okay, that one makes me a bit happier. Intensity is not taking over. That's one of the problems of having, well, I used to say uncooked chicken, kind of like Teresa's dad, but my husband looked at me and said, the chicken has more color. Isn't that pleasant? Okay. Warm up things a little bit here and there. No big. Okay, that spot apparently did not wish to cooperate. Plus, like usual, the old face and the old wrinkles and the oversized pores. I'm getting polka dot nose. It's probably going to be worse as I go along. Okay. Wet n Wild Elf. I don't know, I'm being kind of elfy today. So, how's all you? How you doing? Anything interesting going on? Tried anything new? Make sure it's on the affordable side. It's like if you want to see me try it, it better be affordable. We're still waiting to see if our Social Security checks come in, considering all the kerfuffle going on. I don't like kerfuffle when it comes to my Social Security check. Neither one of us get enough money to have a savings account. At least not one that's worth checking on. Excuse me. Anyway, I don't worry so much with the sinus issues. If it's just a little, if it bothers you, you best tell me. Okay. AOA Dewy Cream Highlighter or the Halo Glow. I don't know. I may just stick to e.l.f. and go on about myself. And no, I have not refilled a lot of stuff from my favorite e.l.f. because I don't got the money right now. So, yeah, eventually it will be down to the Wet n Wild and the AOA studio. Luckily for me, my Ace Beauté is still holding out. There's still enough to keep going with this for the eye primer. I am grateful. Now, like I said, I've got the Profusion Dancing Queen, and I'm going, when did ABBA get here, you know? I actually kind of miss ABBA. It made me very sad when they had to go away because they lost people. So, anyway, let's see what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to start with this medium brown that's called Uproar. And we will see what we will see. Huh. Kind of a nifty color. Shade, whatever. Tone. Everybody gets into, here, let's call it this, let's call it that, let's call it the other, which one is right, which one isn't. I get so confused. I just want to put makeup on my face. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Now, I believe we'll get something slightly fluffier. Slightly, just a little. Fluff, 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 fluff. And I'm going to use this color that's called Sandstorm, which is a paler brown. Yes, I know, I'm using brown. It's my concession to the mocha shade that Pantone picked. But it ain't going to be all brown. Y'all ought to know me better than that. La 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 la. Yes, I keep my mouth open because I have to make a face while I'm doing this. I must make a face while I do these things. It's all part of it. Now, I do believe I'm going to take a little bit of that sandstorm brown and go right under here carefully. Carefully. Now, I've had some perfusion palettes that were less than optimal. However, this one seems to be working pretty well. Okay. Now, where am I going? I've got some interesting shades in here. And some interesting shimmers. I'm just trying to decide where I'm going to go first. Let's see, I got a dark blue shirt on. The rest of it's all reds. Oh, look, no reds. Let's try Enigma. Now, this particular Profusion palette has made me relatively happy. It's not crumbly. It's only got a little pickup in the pan, dust up in the pan. So I'm not unhappy with it. And yes, I will be going back to do blend edges and all that manner of stuff. I just wanted to get the Enigma on so I can kind of get an idea of where else I'm going to go. Even though it's not terribly even. Not terribly even. Could be worse. It really could. Just remember, it's colored powder. If I really hate it, I can wash it off and start over. I'm not hating it too much, though. Alrighty. Let's see what I'm going to do. Dee, 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 dee. Now, this is kind of a rosy bronze called Flirty. And I'm not mad at it. Take some of the darkness out of that blue. Get the blue brush and kind of whoosh it back and forward just a little. Whoosh. And then get out the big guns, stick my finger in the pan, and intensify Flirty to suit my whims. Okay. Yeah, I think this brown up here is a little too dense, but I don't have anything in the palette that's actually a white except for one that's called Nifty, which is a white glitter. So I'm just going to use a little setting powder and kind of tame that back a little. Now pick up Vibes, which is a rather dark brown. Do a kind of false liner there. No liquid liner here. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to powder this stuff because some of it is trying to crawl up into my creases, but then I've got them. What are you going to do? Okay. I'm going to get me another teeny tiny fiddly brush. Excuse me. I'm not going to have anything left on my nose by the end of this. Okay, I'm going to take this little color that's kind of a purpley pink. It's called Puff. I'm going to tap it right here in the corner and bring it over this way a little to meet up with that other one. I don't need it to be way bright. And then I'm going to take that same color shade tone, and run it right up under the tail of that eyebrow. Yes, I know, my eyebrows are not even. Neither's my face. Thanks. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to run away for a minute, and you do not need to see me sitting here with my mouth hanging open while I do tight lines and mascara and stuff. You've already seen enough of my hanging mouth when I try to do much of anything else. Back in a bit. All right, I'm back. I even have lashes on. Oh, not perfectly on, but there they are. There she is. Kitties keep opening the door, so does the puppy. You're probably hearing the fan now, so. What do you think? No, really? What do you think? You're allowed to say. Anyway, my husband just told me dinner's ready. I believe I'll go have dinner. Mitten. Mitten. What are you doing, Mitten? She's the youngest. Silly cat. Silly cat. Anyway, yeah, I know, they're not on correctly. They're not on. I haven't practiced doing these things since I stopped doing belly dance. Anyway. See you next time.